Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Sorry for the little glitch there at the beginning.
Yeah, we were having a technical issue that YouTube didn't seem to like, or the software we use.
Right. Well, I'm going to say maybe YouTube didn't want us talking about the price hikes.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone had a great week and are staying warm. We're actually in the 40s here today. So after 13 below over my birthday earlier this week, I'm thankful to be in the 40s here now. So we have a lot to cover today with some news that just came out. Streamable reported about half an hour or so ago, so we're going to get started. A couple different deals. YouTube TV, as we mentioned last week, is doing $10 off for your first 6 months, which really isn't a deal. It's just sheltering you from the price hike, and it's a 5-day free trial now instead of 10. And Fubo currently has offering $25 off your first month for on Essential, making it $59.99 for the first month, and $20 off Pro and Elite, making it $64.99 and $74.99 respectively. So remember this pricing because we're going to discuss that here in a minute. So first, we're going to get into the Netflix price hike that was announced on Tuesday. They reported their Q4 earnings on Tuesday, and it had a monster quarter. And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And so I'm going to read a couple quotes from their shareholder newsletter. They say, quote, "For the year, revenue grew 16% and operating margin expanded 6 points to 27%. Operating income exceeded $10 billion for the first time in our history." Additionally, revenue increased 16% year over year, helped by $19 million paid net additions for subscriptions, while operating income rose 52% year over year. We finished 2024 with 302 million memberships. It's the first time that they hit 300 million plus subscribers, and that doesn't include extra member accounts. And subscriber growth is a 44% increase from a year earlier. And they are claiming from the newsletter, quote, "We want to be the first place members go for entertainment, whatever your taste or mood and whomever you are watching with. Engagement underpins that goal, as we believe it is the best proxy for customer satisfaction, which in turn leads to higher retention, acquisition, and value for our service. In 2024, despite a slower start due to the strikes, we successfully delivered a strong slate and healthy engagement." It's saying that the increase in subscribers was from more than just live events, which they're reporting that they had 108 million viewers for the horrible Jake Paul, Mike Tyson event that they had with all the glitches, and upwards of 30 million for the Christmas NFL games. And what they're saying is that they're not focused on large regular season sports packages, but rather delivering a can't miss special event programming, as they're saying it. And they're saying that so for sports, in addition to NFL, obviously on Christmas, just started WWE Raw, and there are now rumors of them potentially getting in on UFC events. And they're saying that they had more number one shows in the weekly streaming top 10 charts than all other streamers combined, and five and more shows in the weekly top 10 than all other streamers combined. And its ad-supported plan accounted for over 55% of signups where they have ad plans. So the price hikes, they're here in the U.S., Canada, Portugal, and Argentina. I don't know why they're doing those specific countries, but the new prices are as follows. The ad-supported went up $1 from $6.99 to $7.99 a month. This is the first time it increased prices for that plan. The standard plan, so the first one that does not include ads, went up $2.50 a month from $15.49 to $17.99. and premium went up $2 from $22.99 to $24.99. It also tweaked the extra member add-ons by $1 for the ad-free to $8.99. It had been $7.99 or $6.99 for the ad-supported plan. And they're claiming that live sports rights are what's key to what's driving the price hikes, and that costs make it difficult to do more than one-time games.
I have an interesting note on that.
Yeah.
Well, since it is, as you just mentioned, the one-time games, and they have said they're committed to live events without ongoing,
Yeah.
It's just interesting that would be the justification for the price hike. You'd think it would cost more if you were going to stream a whole season. But
yeah, and
food for thought.
Yeah, and the last time that they raised prices for standard and premium were in January 22. And then on premium, they did two price hikes in 22, the one in January and one in October. No reason is given for the price hike beyond the standard invest in programming line. Interestingly, I've read all over the internet that Google searches for cancel Netflix, for the term cancel Netflix, have dramatically spiked this week. And yeah, they haven't had a price hike in 2+ years, but we never like seeing them, and especially when there's no value add to it. Yes, they are trying to get into more live events as they're claiming, but still, we don't like it. And it leaves open a debate of who really is the best alternative to Netflix. And, honestly, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're wanting a mix of decent content and access to some sports, I would argue that Max and Peacock will probably be two good options. Paramount Plus, I would put lower down there because I don't think they have as many sports. Or the Disney bundle. Would be interested to hear what you would think you would go to if you're canceling Netflix. And that really is, Danny, that's a great point. We're the same way. And when's the Super Bowl? The 9th. So the 10th, we're canceling our subscription that we did YouTube TV this time around, and canceling it and getting rid of it. And so never like price hikes again. And I would be interested to hear what your favorite alternatives would be to Netflix, especially if you do a mix between paid and free. And then on the price hike note, as I mentioned, Fubo, the streamable, just reported this within the last hour that Fubo is raising rates on all their plans by $5. So it makes the lowest priced plan essential $85 if you don't have any promo pricing. Pro is also $85, but that also includes RSNs, which can add up to another $16. And Elite is going to be $95. And the streamer is claiming that the hike is coming from rising costs from partners, that old gym. And its last price hike was January of last year, so another annual price hike.
Yeah, unfortunately, those are just going to continue to happen. See your comment, Jeffrey. I was just thinking we probably watch Netflix more than any other streaming service, I think. And so we still pay for the ad-free plan. That's what we moved up to. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know how long we'll do that, but as long as I can stomach it. I prefer to not have to deal with ads on that service because we watch it a lot. Yeah,
and Raymond, great point on Comcast. We're going to be discussing that as well.
Yeah, so let's take a break from Netflix for just a second. I mean, they are in this next update, but wanted to just share with you a few pieces about streaming numbers for December. So Nielsen reported them this week, and surprise, they show that streaming is taking more of the TV market. Streaming platforms accounted now for 43% of total viewing in December, which is an all-time high. And I'm going to show you that screen while we're going over these numbers. Netflix matched a service record of 8.5% of total viewing. Prime Video hit a new best at 4% of all TV watched. Max saw an increase of 18%, which was the largest increase of all streamers. And YouTube was up 7% to just over 11% of viewing. And also, not a surprise, Thanksgiving and Christmas Day hosted the top 6 most watched telecasts during the month of December. So you had the 3 NFL Thanksgiving games in there, which the Giants-Cowboys on Fox had the highest viewership at over 38 million. And then the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on NBC, that had almost 24 million. The 5th and 6th top telecasts belonged to Netflix for its Christmas Day games, NFL games. Those each drew more than 23 million viewers. So Netflix, I know I said we weren't going to talk about them, but here we go. They saw a 14% increase over the previous interval. And while some of that, surely it was attributed, you can account for that being the NFL games, calculations showed that their usage would have been up 11%, even if contributions from the games were excluded. So 11%, and even without the games, they still had a nice increase. Though Nielsen does call out what we all know, which is that a lot of the increase is due to football, but also movies and new content hitting the platforms. But football really was the biggest player there. So all that to say, it's going to be interesting to see the next report, the report that comes out once football season is over in a few weeks, just kind of to see, how many cancellations do some of these services see, and then, how does this continue to play out with the live sports, and to the points in the comments of more streamers continuing to get into them.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to Netflix, read this really interesting article on The Athletic through New York Times this yesterday. It was that arguing is Netflix becoming the anti-ESPN. And Netflix has said across the board that they're not going hard after, like a weekly live sporting events from the major sports leagues, aside from something like WWE. They're saying that, sorry, I was looking at my notes here.
And hang with us if you are not into sports. I promise we have at least one more story that isn't completely about sports.
Yeah, and so as I mentioned earlier during the price hike, that Netflix is going after that can't miss type of event like the Christmas games. And as the article pointed out, ESPN is trying its best to grow beyond being that 800-pound gorilla in the live sports market. And the article says, quote, ESPN spends its rights budget on amassing a huge volume of regular season sports packages. The network currency is live games, so it spends prolifically on that programming. On top of that, ESPN ABC may have the most marquee events in the history of sports media with upcoming Super Bowls, the NBA Finals, the College Football Championship, and the Stanley Cup Final, among others. This will become even more important once it launches what's being called flagship at the moment. In the fall, it's direct-to-consumer platform. So because of this, Netflix they feel like that they don't need to go after everything. They just need to go over those things, again, that people, they feel really want to watch when you're together with friends and family, that can't be missed. And that's going to help them keep their subscribers engaged and amass a bigger subscriber base. And the article is arguing that the NFL is, in particular, since that's the main sporting event or its biggest sports league, is understandably happy with the spending. And the NFL naturally, they're saying, has to be thrilled They, quote, they get a deep-pocketed new entrant that can pay top dollar for rights fees, get the product in front of a global audience of a couple 100 million people, and put on a broadcast that looks and feels similar to the one fans are used to, unquote. And so, like, if you watch the Christmas Day games on Netflix, they hired a bunch of known people in the space, reporters, and in-studio talent. And a similar argument can be made of other sports leagues. And it's discussing, the article goes in and discussing Prime Video and these ones that aren't live services, but they're trying to peel off some of these sports to attract more people. And with live sports spending, live sports rights projected to hit $11 billion this year. It'll be fascinating to see how this continues to play out. And unfortunately, what it's going to do is it's going to raise prices. And as someone mentioned in the comments, Netflix will probably be $35 in the next couple of years. I totally see that happening, particularly for that premium plan, because the NFL and other things like that are expensive to add. And they're just going to pass that on to us.
Yeah, before we get into the next item, I see, Nancy, you have a great question there. John, do you have heard more on that? Or
well, it's I believe it's the 26-27 season that the college football playoff is then going to be simulcast, excuse me, on ABC. So I think it's the first two seasons aren't going to be simulcast on ABC, but after that, again, I think is a 26-27 season. It will be, so it'll be available, for free over the air.
Which we watched it, and I think we even had a conversation during it about, this really should be on ABC, so anyone and everyone can watch it, whoever wants to.
And overall, I thought the marketing of the game itself was not very good.
Yeah, they could have done better there. Well, let's take a look at our next story. It's actually about NFL Sunday Ticket. Awful Announcing was the first to report that the Department of Justice has urged a federal appeals court to reinstate a portion of the lawsuit against the NFL concerning how it operates the Sunday Ticket package. So it's been out of the news for a little while, but basically a federal jury had awarded $4.7 billion to plaintiffs and decided that the NFL's collective pooling of its 32 teams' broadcasting rights had led to artificially inflated prices for Sunday Ticket. However, the judge presiding over that case later overturned the jury's verdict, citing illogical conclusions and inadmissible witness testimony. So the Department of Justice has filed an amicus brief to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and it is saying that the district court erred in dismissing the plaintiff's claims for injunctive relief. The DOJ emphasized that NFL's practices continue to limit fans to either watching limited local games or paying premium prices for the Sunday Ticket bundle, which they argue constitutes ongoing anti-competitive behavior. And they also highlighted the Christmas Day deals with Netflix, saying that if the NFL is going to make certain games nationally available, it reduces the value of the Sunday Ticket package, which is a further disadvantage to consumers. Even though the DOJ didn't explicitly state a position on overturning the jury's damages verdict, its brief kind of indicates that it has concerns about that decision and how it could impact consumers. So, it's something to keep watching, and it is interesting. We had a lot of lawsuits, fubo suing Disney over venue, and similar, anti-competitive behavior was the grounds there. It'll just be interesting to see if the NFL can make this go away. I want to make a Chiefs crack. The way they make penalties called against, team. Anyway, I'm trying, and I should just let it go. But
there's a great point in the comment of wishing that streaming services would allow sports to be an add-on if you want it. sadly, I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll see, because sports, as everyone knows, that just adds bloated cost if you don't care for them.
Yeah. So. Okay. I told you there was going to be a non-sports story, so here it is. We actually...
Well, the last two are non-sports.
Yeah. Here they come. So there's a new Max-Starz bundle now available on Prime Video. You know, we have been saying for a while that we think bundling is going to grow in popularity, and this week we're seeing another example of that. So it's reportedly available only for a limited time until mid-March, and it'll be $20.99, which is a savings of about 25%, because if you split them out and bought them separately, it'd be $28 a month. In an article, the president of Starz said that they're thrilled to team up with Prime Video and Max to deliver this new offering. And, you know, they go on to talk about how great it is, but it really made us kind of wonder, why would you do this bundle with Starz? Starz commonly has deals for $5 a month or less to get subscribers. You know, our conclusion is just they want to put this in front of as many eyes as possible. Its standard price is $10.99 a month. That seems like a bit of a stretch to us, especially if you think about the Disney bundle, where you can get Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max for $16.99 a month for the ad-supported plan, or $30 without ads. And that's, both of those offer a 40% or a little bit even more than that discount. So we don't think it's great for everyone, but if you are a movie fan who also likes original content, and you like both Max and Starz, and I feel like I'm giving so many qualifications for this, and you don't mind using the Prime Video interface, then maybe it could work for you.
I don't think it's a very compelling bundle, but it is what it is. So the last topic we're going to discuss today, which was already brought up in the comments, is Comcast taking a page from DirecTV Stream and rolling out a skinny bundle for its Xfinity internet customers. So it's only available to them, and it's same pricing. So it's $70 monthly. There's some tweaks and some differences here with this versus the My Sports bundle that DirecTV is offering. No contracts are required, and the new offering is called Sports and News TV. So really catchy name. And I do like the difference in this, in that it's sports and news, because that, I think, for many mainstream people, that's what they're wanting to watch. It's typically those two things that they're looking for. Again, only available to Xfinity internet customers, and includes what they say is most, though not all, cable sports and news channels. It includes all four major broadcast networks: Univision, Telemundo, ESPN, ESPN2, and Nicole, there's a list from their site. There's the full list of it. Fox Sports 1 and 2, ACC Network, Big Ten Network, Golf Channel, SEC Network, NBC Sports Philadelphia. So their site is claiming that it has all four NBC, RSNs, TV Answerman, confirmed through them that it's only one, so that NBC Sports Philadelphia currently. Fox News, MSNBC, News Nation, CNBC, Fox Business, CNN, a subscription to Peacock, 300 hours of cloud DVR storage, and access to fast channels directly in the app. So what's missing from this is Turner Networks, although oddly CNN is in there, which is Turner Network, and the USA Network, as well as other ESPN channels like ESPNU and ESPN News. Comcast says, quote, seamless access to 100 plus streaming channels within a channel guide, complementing the already robust lineup of programming with channels such as American Crimes, Keeping Up, Fox Sports, Telemundo, Today All Day, Sky News, and more. With Sports and News TV, we brought together top networks for live sports and news, and Peacock, the best streaming service for sports fans, it's saying, to create a new video bundle packed with the best content at an unbeatable price. All accessible within a premium viewing experience that makes it easy for customers to find the content they care about the most.
That's from their press release.
Yeah, that's from their press release.
It's up there on the screen.
The senior VP of entertainment for Comcast, John Dixon, said that. And then they go on to say, Sports and News TV is a terrific option for customers looking for a great value in entertainment without sacrificing their favorite live sports and news channels, unquote. Now, this is all in the wake of Comcast announcing in November that they're planning to spin off its portfolio of cable networks. Our take on this, I would say, we like the movement to something like this. I'll preface it with that, but it's far too expensive. It's far too expensive. It's only $13 cheaper than YouTube TV and Hulu Live. That's not to mention that if you want something even lighter, Sling is a really good option that allows you to somewhat make what you want of it. If you compare that with a over-the-air antenna, and both Comcast and DirecTV are trying to get to that venue price point of that $40 to $50 range. But ultimately, I would say these are failures. Because why spend $70 for such a small select amount of channels when you can spend $10 or $15 more and get cable or a premium service that's just like cable, and it doesn't make sense to me. And these two are the first to market with these bundles. But I know I'm hopeful that it's not indicative of what else may come out, because we know that this $70 pricing, I mean, with the DirecTV one from last week, they're offering it for $50 for the first 3 months. We know the $70 is just, it's entry point. We know that pricing is going to go up. And I keep saying this, $10 billion plus being spent a year on sports rights, they're going to have to raise their prices. And so going back to the comment earlier, it would be great to see a service come out with a lower tier, a smaller package, and then make sports available if you want it.
As an add-on,
yeah, if you want it. And, for people like us that football is a can't miss for us, yeah, we're going to be, if it's at a good price point, we're going to absolutely add it. But just putting something out there that's at $70 a month, that's going to keep a lot of people from getting it, and really ultimately isn't dealing with the pain point of the pricing. And the powers that be can do it. I'm confident of it, but they just don't want to. And that's really what I want to see, to have a package that's going to be at that $40 to $50 range. And at this point, again, just get a premium live service if that's what you want. If not, you can cobble together a couple on-demand services and get plenty of content and still get access to some kind of sports.
Only caveat I would say, because I agree with everything John's saying, but if you are on some kind of data limited plan that makes streaming, streaming everything could become cost prohibitive, then sticking with cable or satellite is, probably going to be better for you. But again, it's all the more opportunity for them to offer the kind of things John was just talking about. Yeah.
And a question on when do you think that ESPN streaming service is going to release? I would anticipate late July to early August, because they're going to want to be out before college football season starts, which is late August. And I would assume that they would want it out for at least a week or two to make sure that they iron out any kinks that they might experience. But yeah, and I know from everything I've read being reported that they're thinking that August date. And great point by Lou, thinking that Fox is going to need to come up with like a Tubi Plus or something to keep up with Peacock and Paramount. That could be an option. That would be, interesting to see how that would play out.
Yeah, and we have some Tubi videos coming out here soon, and we'll be doing one on how to watch the Super Bowl there. I think that there's an opportunity for Fox to keep Tubi free and support it with ad revenue, but I do think they need to make some upgrades to their platform, and that's where they could be more competitive with Peacock and Paramount Plus, and maybe differentiate themselves by still having Tubi be free, and maybe they could actually put some like local Fox stations on there, or they could explore ways to get live sports and news there and maybe keep it free. I mean, the ad revenue could potentially be enough to really make them be a player there, but we'll see.
Yeah, and these are interesting times. We keep saying that, but I think we're going to see a big shift this year at some point in streaming, and I think we're seeing the trickles of it now with these two bundles. I think ESPN is really going to try and be a disruptor, but I think it can only do that if it's at the right price. If they come out swinging for the fences at like a $40 price point or more, which we've not seen that. It's reported like a $25 to $30 range, but this is Disney. But if they come out swinging for the fences, I think it probably won't be the disruptor that they want it to be, unless they were to somehow able to parse in some local networks or something like that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this headline it kind of says it all. It is going to become harder to be a fan, and it's going to cost more. So that I wish it wasn't that way, but
yeah.
Anyway,
interesting times.
Yep. Well, thank you everyone for joining us and all the comments. We will look forward to seeing you all next Friday.
Yep.
And hope you guys have a great week.
And hopefully no more price hikes over the next week.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Yes. Have a great weekend.